Part two of this Whisper Loop presentation is looking at how we can convert documents to audio. Now, there was a request to do this in one of the user groups I was in, especially with just lesson plans, announcements, and things like that to make it easier for certain people to consume the information. I think there's a lot of uses for this. In fact, if you wanted to anonymize classroom recordings, you could use the Whisper loop that I demonstrated, the Whisper technology that I demonstrated in part one, create all the transcripts, and then have this read it into audio. So you could actually have an audio copy of the class lesson without the person's voice, and it would completely anonymize it. And that's another way to look at this. I think there's a lot of uses for putting things in the audio format. And even though you can't really secure it, getting this stuff into some type of feed, like a podcast feed, would give the community access very easily on their mobile devices to the audio. I'm doing this with Larynx. So Larynx is open source. And everything that I am doing with Larynx is based on folders. So for my demonstration, I am processing all of these PDFs. This program runs first, and it converts the PDF to text because it's just easier for Larynx to deal with. I get better results. So I can really convert anything to anything. So PDF to text, Word doc to text, doesn't really matter. This will detect it. If it's a PDF in here, it's going to convert it to text. So anything in this folder will just be done automatically. And then there's a cleanup process that just empties the folder. So this is the target folder, just like we had a target folder for the transcription. This is a target folder to go the other way. It's going to take the text back into audio. Now, for this demonstration, and I will play this at the end so you can hear it, I'm using one of the free voices. There's like 40 or 50 free voices that you can get. If you want to spend more money, like this is free, this is absolutely free. If you want to spend more money, you can buy very nice customized voices. I'm going back to this concept of everything is in the folder. The folder tells the program, hey, it's in this folder, so you need to do this to it. That allows everybody in the community to just load up this folder with the content, and then the program takes over and knows exactly what to do. So it's very efficient. It actually works pretty fast. Same strategy here. I'm going to actually run the program, and I'm going to run it in real time and record it. I'm going to chop it up so you don't have to watch the whole thing. But if anyone wants to see it actually run the entire time, I'm totally fine with that. And obviously I've done this before. You can process a lot of content very quickly. You can run this on a decent desktop computer or server, or even a high-end laptop if you wanted to in your organization. This does not have to be in the cloud, and I'm not using any libraries here that are connected to an AI cloud. All right, so here we go. We're finished, and I'm getting ready to play one of the samples, but before I do that, I just want to explain how this works. So when everything's created, currently I'm creating two files. The reason I'm creating two files is I'm not sure which one I like better. I'm kind of playing around with it because once a file is created, there are a lot of things you can do to make the audio better. There's compression, equalization, etc. So I actually have built some scripts that try to make the audio better. And the one with P is the second version. It means processed. So this is kind of the raw one that it determines on its own, and this is mine. So that's why there are two. There's eventually just going to be one. I'm going to be playing this one, which is a friend reading an itinerary of things that you should do in Washington, D.C. And then I'm going to be playing a high school communication email, or that goes out every week.
Preston's list of things to do in Washington. Ben, beer. This list is in no particular order. I've broken it down into categories, rather than geographically. Helpful websites, the Washington Flyer, ground transport to and from Hyatt. Basically, you take the Metro for West Falls Church and student reminders for virtual learning. General reminders. Course selection closes on PowerShell at midnight this Friday. The Earth. Go on early this week and finish up. If any issues, please contact my assistant.
I hope you weren't put off by the voice. I like it especially for this kind of development process, and just having something reliable that's clear enough that I can ensure that the process is working, and it really helps me to like fine tune certain parameters so I can handle different types of content. Most of these tools that I'm demonstrating, again, are designed around a couple of concepts, and I want to reiterate those over and over because there's always a lot of questions related to the fact that, yes, there's an app that you can process a file with, or you can go online and process this or that. It is true, but none of the quality technology is free. You rarely can do multiple files or files of any size, and you don't have any control over your privacy. So everything that I'm building, the goal is to run between 70 and 100% of it locally on a machine that I control and in a data stream that I control. I don't want it just going into the cloud. I don't want it just going into a database somewhere where I really don't have any control over it. And the other thing is looking at this concept of making it easy for the community to contribute work that needs to be converted, interpreted, summarized, analyzed, however you want to look at it. I want normal people, to just be able to submit information the way that they submit most things. I don't want them having to log into a special web page if they already have a login that gets them into the organizational cloud. So I want to make this as seamless as possible.